You know, there are 5, maybe 6 things that I've learned, some big mistakes that I learned in everyday carry. And I want you to maybe reflect and see if you're doing something similar, or you're currently doing the exact same thing, or you think that these are not mistakes at all. So mistakes I learned doing everyday carry, survival, prep, EDC for short, they have been not numerous, but they have been consequential. And I think that it took me a while to figure some of this stuff out. The first one is not focusing on legacy, specifically switching from a smartwatch to an analog watch sooner. This may seem very, very small, mundane, like it doesn't matter at all. I just recently did a review on the VAR D5 dive watch, great watch. But the point is that, you know, I think that you may be making a mistake by only having a smartwatch or mostly wearing your smartwatch. And I'm here to argue why. This is my TicWatch Pro 2020. I'm wearing the Ben Roos DTU field watch, originally used as a Vietnam watch for soldiers that were in Vietnam. I'm gonna give you a couple reasons why you may wanna abandon your smartwatch. Number one is legacy. This Ben Roos watch, any watch that I may have from VAR, anything like that, those watches have the ability to be passed down to loved ones. They equal legacy. I have 2 sons, 3 daughters, and, you know, for the most part, I could pass down any of these mechanical, automatic, quartz watches, whatever, to them years from now. That can be something that they will remember me by, something that they could use easily, something that can just be maintained and tinkered with and maintenance for a watch shop or something like that. That's number one. Number 2, disconnecting. A smartwatch doesn't allow for you to disconnect. You know, you wear a smartwatch and you always get your phone notifications and you're always in the loop and you're always tracking your health, or you're maybe doom scrolling if you have the ability to on some social media app. And wearing a smartwatch within your everyday carry kind of confined you to doing that. And I don't know if that's necessarily something that you always want to do. I know that since disconnecting from the smartwatch, not using it as often, I feel a little bit more free. So the second thing that I definitely ignored, made a mistake, did not do well within everyday carry, was ignoring my maintenance, specifically cleaning, taking things apart, making sure things function correctly. And I have learned that lesson hard. Now I have myself an entire knife cleaning, maintenance, modification, and an adjustment area that I have developed over the last couple of years. That brings us to the sponsor of today's video, which is TS Prof. Now, here's the thing I like about the TS Prof Pioneer. First off, you can clamp this to your table using the included C-clamp that they give you. You can buy your own C-clamp if you want to, or you can actually just take this through the metal base and just zip a couple of screws through it if you see fit. I have T-Track that's installed in this actual table, so I tend to just mount mine using clamps that are already on my table. But what do I like about this? You do not have to use their abrasives. You do not have to use their stones. And that's a really good thing. They give you some broad diameters for the different stone lengths that you can use, which is fantastic. So if you want to, you could use stones that go down to a minimum a little bit less than ½ inch in length, all the way up to 6.3 inches in length. So a lot of different stone size, but a lot of these are pretty common sizes anyway. And you can do all sorts of blade lengths, thicknesses, etc. Why do I like this so much? Before I got this, I was using some of the electric belt sharpening systems from some of their competitors, and they worked fine in a pinch. They worked fine on the go. But what I've noticed is that I was really jacking up, evenly sharpening my blades. I jacked up a Spyderco PM2 that is just, unless I send it back to Spyderco, there's not a lot that's gonna get around that. So this is something that allows for you to attach it to your table, take your time. You can fold this thing up for storage and really focus on your knife maintenance. I think this is one of the best on the market. You can get their additional angle finder accessory. You can get their stones as well. And this is something that you can have and pass down for life. So me personally, Check the links in the description down below. I think you will be satisfied with this. I know that I am. Shout out to TS Prof for sponsoring today's video. That also talks about the other areas I use in this general knife maintenance and cleaning area. Here, if I need to take a tool apart, I have my little anvil, built-in vise. So this is how I did the modifications to my Leatherman Free P4, stuff like that. If I need to take a tool apart, I have silicone trays here. But the general gist of this is maintenance is important for a number of reasons. One, cleaning. You want to make sure your stuff is cleaning, functioning properly. I think that kind of goes without being said. Two, you can fix your own stuff without having to send it in, and as long as you're not voiding manufacturer warranties or your warranty's over, you can do the maintenance yourself. Three, it keeps you from buying new stuff. If you have something that could be fixed, tinkered, adjusted, whatever, you don't have to go out and buy a new knife, a new pry bar, a new whatever. I fixed an iPhone XR here of my daughter the other day, and it went relatively smooth. And then finally, it keeps you from living without your piece of EDC kit. If you know how to do maintenance on your item, then you're gonna have the ability to not be missing that out of your kit for any number of days or weeks because you can't afford to do it. So I think that that's a very key component when it comes to everyday carry is do not forget maintenance, because I did for quite a while. Number three, when it comes to everyday carry, going overboard and all of that good stuff, I would probably have to say is doing too much or going overboard, as mentioned, the EDC mistakes. And I've written down a couple of scenarios that I thought about going overboard or and doing the most. It had to be going a night out on the town, staying at home, working from home, or doing a DIY project. This is where I now kind of keep my EDC stuff, my watches, my records, and it's so much more organized. And it used to just be really, really bad. Let me bring you in closer. So now over here, I got the watches nice and exactly where they should be. And then if you kind of look over here is where I keep all my knives and multi-tools, a little bit of bourbon action here, record player here. But the point being is that it's a lot more reasonable. It's a lot more manageable for keeping me from going overboard on a night on the town. For instance, I took the wife out recently and I found myself wanting to grab my nutsack leather double admin pouch and possibly make sure I had all this stuff inside. And we were just gonna go play putt-putt and maybe have a couple of drinks. And I was just like, you know, as well built out as this kit is, I probably don't need my Tide pen and my boat action pen and a cigar cutter and a lighter and a spike opener and multi-tool. Probably don't need all that stuff just to go play a little bit of putt-putt. But if we're gonna be out all day, going over some people's houses, going to different places, gone for 10, 12 hours away from the house, maybe that's a time where I need to bring out a full entire kit. For another one is even being at home. I work from home a lot and my kit can probably just consist of, honestly, a multi-tool, a watch, and like a really small duty flashlight. I found myself sometimes literally going overboard inside of my house with an overabundance in items, which makes no sense whatsoever. So had to learn that the hard way. And then a DIY project. This kind of has to go in the world of tools, but sometimes I will find myself loading up the entire boat for a project that should probably take a couple of minutes just to knock out. So going overboard is something that I had to definitely bring myself back on in everyday carry. That leads me to my fourth issue, which is being gluttonous. I'll bring you over here to the knife maintenance area. So no, I have reduced my number of knives down significantly. This is the knife storage area. I've done a full tour of these knives and stuff like that. I'll link that video down below. But now if it does not fit in this thing, then the knives must go. They can't be kept. This has made life that much easier, that much more, I don't know, pleasing. I don't feel gluttonous. I have EDC yard sales quite often on my channel. Make sure you're subscribed to when I do those. But now this thing can hold about 40 to 50 knives, one top inside the drawers. And Home and Hatfield's not sponsoring this video. They did send me this entire case, and that's helped me out a lot to not be, you know, doing the most. But that doesn't just necessarily mean the EDC portion of it as well. That also has to do with some of my tools. If we look in the top drawer of my toolbox, this is way better than what it used to be, okay? I'm down to my 3/4 inch, my 1/2 inch, my 3/8, and my 1/4 inch sockets. Got my drives, star bits, P bits, extensions. But this used to be so chaotic, so freaking crazy, that I felt so bad. And I was just like, I mostly work on my own vehicles and work on my house. I don't need if I need all this stuff. And look at this drawer. I've reduced this drawer so much to the point where all I have in here now is just a set. My flexes are freaking holding themselves hostage, but some flexes, some stubbies, one set of regulars, and some American Craftsman's way in the back that I just don't want to give up. But I used to just have way too much stuff that I didn't need. Crow's feet, all that type of stuff. My pliers area, way better than what it used to be. So the point being is, being gluttonous, doing the most, having too much stuff is something that I think we all can avoid in everyday carry and in your tools, in your survival stuff. Knowing when to donate stuff, give stuff to buddies, not take that extra item is something that we could all definitely take a deep dive on. I didn't realize how bad it was until I had some buddies come over here, and it was just, they were surrounded by bags, knives, multi-tools, keyboards for my desk setup, headphones, tools, and I had to make a change. That brings me to my last point. Assuming that everyone does one or two things when it comes to everyday carry. Here's a mistake that I learned, and I kind of learned this the hard way. Assuming that people care about my EDC or know how to use everyday carry items. That was a huge assumption that I made. It made me look like an ass in more than one occasion, and I want you to think about the same thing. So I got buddies who are real big into cigars, they're real big into guns, and I gifted them some liner lock Acasio knives, I don't know how to pronounce it, a couple of Wee knives, and also a few Kershaws. All of them were liner locks and crossbar locks, and none of these men could figure out how to close the knives. Most of them couldn't barely figure out how to flick them, open them. They looked like they were super dangerous around these things, and these guys handle 380s and 40s and 9mm and 1911s, and we're taking ARs out, we're skeet shooting shotguns, we're bird dog and all that type of stuff. Assuming that people know exactly what you know could be a dangerous thing, and that's a mistake within everyday carry, is putting something in someone's hand that doesn't know how to use it. That's something that you need to remember. And then assuming that people even care. Because some of these guys that I gave stuff, they don't give a F about everyday carry. They want their cigars, they want their guns. Some of their guns were passed down from their fathers, so they don't even care about buying the newest and greatest of anything. My family, so like when it comes to this channel, I can name on one hand how many people in my family watch my content, which is a good thing, meaning that I don't want them just forcing themselves to watch this content because I do it. I want you to genuinely watch it because you care about it. But that also means when I go rambling my mouth about something I just picked up, whether it's new tow mirrors for my truck, or a new knife I just got, or a new watch, that most people do not care. And I don't want you to get butt hurt if one or two things happen. People don't care about your kit. People get stuff gifted from you and they don't know how to use it. You handed them something and they hurt themselves. Those can both be mistakes. That's why if you do want to join a community that cares about your stuff, click the link in the description, join the Discord, because we will care about your kit. We will care about the new thing you just got for your vehicle, for your man cave, for your loadout, give you a suggestion on a flashlight. We do all that type of stuff as well. We also talk about all sorts of stuff that's also interesting. So join the Discord, it's free. Hit the like button as well. Let me know what mistakes you've made in everyday carry, because are they similar to mine? Am I the only one doing this type of stuff? I can't be the only one doing this type of stuff. Please don't let me be the only one doing this type of stuff. With that being said, I got stuff to do. I'll talk to you later. Oh, enjoy Rihanna's ass. I know you see it.